So, I hear we're into some of the same stuff.
You are about to join the revolution.
The time has come. Your world will never be the same. You are listening to a sophisticated conversation.
Greetings and welcome to episode number 39 of Podcast Revolution. Joining me via Skype from England is Tab.
Hey.
Alright, now I got one thing wrong there. Which one was it?
Let's see. You got my name right, and I'm on Skype.
Oh, I know what I got wrong. I didn't name myself. I'm Johnny T, host of Podcast Revolution. There we go.
There we go.
Right, so, you having a jolly good time over there?
Yeah, sure.
Very nice. Alright, so that's pretty much all the material I got for this episode. What do you got?
Well, I was probably gonna, just give a very nice lecture about how the events leading up to World War II caused the development of public transportation in Europe, whereas in the U.S. we developed into the highway and, non-public forms of conveyance.
All right, before we get into that, why do you think that would be an interesting topic that people would want to listen to?
This show is about sophisticated conversation, and I think discussing the historical factors involved in the development of major elements of, city development and that sort of thing are quite interesting to our viewers.
And you can relate to the viewers. You know how they think.
Well, I'm sophisticated. This show is about sophisticated conversation.
And sports and girls. Are you a sport? Are you a girl? You don't sound like either.
Does the intro even say sports and girls anymore?
Not anymore, but we might bring that one back.
So how am I supposed to know that it's about sports and girls? It's just sophisticated conversation. And this has been something that I was curious about. In the intro, it's the something will never be the same. What are you actually saying?
Your world will never be the same.
Okay.
Your world will never be the same.
I figured it was your world, but for some reason I hear it as your balls will never be the same, which makes no sense, but that's what I hear.
I'm glad that's not how it is. For some reason I'm coming through on your end also.
Yeah, let me just...
fix it, now.
It's fixed.
Good.
I'm sorry, I had to unplug my headphones for a second there, and we got a little bit of a loop going.
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
I don't know. I know. I apologize.
Alright, so, we have a great show for you guys out there and listening audience.
Well, what little listening audience we have after that intro section of us rambling and
that's true.
Sounding like a pompous asshole.
Do you actually want to talk about what you said you want to talk about?
No, I actually could talk about that in length, but I am very aware of the fact that it's a pretty boring topic.
Alright, so what's an exciting topic?
An exciting topic? Well, it would be interesting to talk about what's been going on in Egypt, but again, I think that's a little bit too highbrow for this program.
I'd say so too.
I
mean, the pyramids are pretty high, but yeah.
Yes, the pyramid.
Yes, the pyramids. Anyways, leaving Giza, heading back here.
Right.
Alright, so, you know what excites a lot of people? Guns.
What? Guns?
And how is the gun situation over there where you are?
Well, I mean, it's not like an issue or anything. There was actually a really interesting... I was in downtown of where I am, I'd say 4 months ago. It was a while back. And there were two things that caught my eye. One was it wasn't really a gun store. It was a weapons store. because they had guns, but they also had like swords and shit like that. It was just this odd thing. 'Cause they had a big window display.
And let's also correct from the beginning, and you are not actually in London.
Right.
You are in
Germany.
Yay!
For listeners of the infamous episode 37,
I believe
you already
yes.
know that. Yes. For our loyal listeners who have been listening since episode 37.
So 2 episodes ago.
Yes. But it was like a weapons store, and the thing is, it isn't like I went in. There was just a huge, like, big old window front just filled with weapons and stuff, and I found that really bizarre. And then later, as I went further in downtown, there was this sign saying, like, no guns allowed in this section. And I was like, wait, are guns allowed everywhere else? Like, I'd just be, like, walking with, like, a shotgun strapped to my back and no one would be able to say anything?
Well, that actually reminds me of, like, for instance, I was at the movies yesterday, and it said, please note this is a non-smoking theater. No shit. Isn't every theater a non-smoking theater?
Isn't, like, all indoor buildings a non-smoking theater?
Or like, for those of you who don't know, this is a non-smoking flight. Who would smoke on a plane, first of all? And second of all, how would you get cigarettes on an airplane now? Like, they don't even let you bring, like, I don't know, a pen on an airplane anymore.
No. Here's the thing. It's one thing. See, here's the thing. There's no reason you shouldn't be allowed to bring cigarettes on a flight. Because how would you smoke them? You're not allowed to bring matches. You're not allowed to bring a lighter. What would you light it with? Would you like stick a paperclip into the electrical socket and then put your lighter next to it?
Or would you bring some sticks and or some what's it called? Flint and stone. Flint and
Tinder. Yeah.
Flint and steel.
I wonder if you could just bring a couple sticks onto a flight. Just like just some small twigs, and they're like, "What do you want these for?" It's like, "Oh, where I'm going, I might need to go camping, and I might need to start a fire." That's what I'm going to lean to on the flight.
But yeah, it's really unnecessary for a lot of places to say this is a non-smoking facility. Pretty much everywhere is.
Yeah. Like, unless it's a private residence, and even then, like, half places have, like, you'll be charged for smoking damage.
Yep. It's ordinances. Oh, that's funny. Like, how many years will it be until those warnings are gone? Are there warnings like that in Germany? Or disclaimers?
Like no smoking signs?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about that. I want to say no, but the next time I'm outside of my apartment, I'll look around. Although on the note of smoking and then a tangent from there, there's they're not like vending machines in the sense of like a soda vending machine, but they're these that actually cigarette vending machines where you have to swipe your ID, of course. And that's fairly straightforward. If you're out on the street, I mean, yeah, you grab some cigarettes. But the other thing that bothers me, the same type of setup, there are these condom dispensers, like they're vending machines, and they're just kind of ubiquitous. And I kind of look at that and I'm like, really? Like, it's like, you're walking back with your date, you're like, 1 sec, baby, gotta stock up. And you walk off, it's like, hey, can I borrow €4? It's like, ugh.
Yes, I think bathrooms are a better place to keep those.
Although, I mean, in theory, it could kind of facilitate things. It's like, hey, look, a condom machine. How ridiculous, or is it? And then you wink, and then if they're like, yeah, maybe we want to get some, you're like, yes. My
favorite hangout just happens to have a condom dispenser.
It just happens to be a condom dispenser. It's like, baby, I want to take you somewhere. You just like walk over to the condom dispenser next to the bicycle store. You're like, this is it.
You're like, get out of the way, cages. I got to get to the condom machine.
Yes.
But yes, that's an interesting topic.
Yeah.
Oh my, what time are we looking at? All right. So we'll be going to break in a couple minutes, but before we get to break, I do have a big question for you.
Okay, hit me.
Will you be our foreign correspondent?
Yes. I already thought
do you
I
know
was,
what you know what the duties of that entail?
I don't care what they are. I say yes.
All right, good, because I don't know them either.
Excellent.
All right, so you're on the job.
Awesome. What's my pay?
Same as mine.
Excellent.
So, how's the weather over there?
It's been really weird the past week. It's been really
Yeah, well, no
windy.
one cares about weather, so you're supposed to say no one cares, and then move on. So let's try
Right,
again.
and I'm
How's the weather over there?
Who gives a shit? I'm the foreign correspondent. I got more important things to talk about.
Exactly.
Weather's for the weatherman, who I assume is Bad Andy?
I don't know if he agreed to that, but we'll see.
That's not his choice.
Oh yeah.
You sacrifice certain human rights when you come on this show.
Just ask Cages.
Well, I think he sacrificed his before he came on the show.
If only his parents did the same thing. Poor Cages. Anyways, moving on. So, what do we need to know right now about what's going on in Europe?
What's going on in Europe right now? I would have to say that nothing very important is going on in Europe right now. It's just kind of doing its thing.
Actually, when you're in Germany, do you hear news from England and France and Spain, or is it mostly just German local news?
I mean, the newspapers, it tends to be more local. But like the I don't really watch much television, but there's BBC and there's Al Jazeera and there's the German news, or Deutsche Welle, which is a German station.
Hey, when Al Jazeera when Al Jazeera airs beheadings, do they show that where you are, or do they censor that?
I haven't seen that. Actually, honestly, like from my opinion, Al Jazeera is just a pretty straightforward news place. I haven't seen any beheadings or things of that nature.
Well, you must be very thankful for that.
I guess. I mean, I've played enough video games and seen enough video game beheadings that a real one would just be like, that isn't as cool looking. Why is there so little blood spraying on the camera?
All right, so adding to the fuel to the fire that video games have desensitized us to real life violence.
You know, I would have to agree with that, but like it's not like it's desensitized me to. It's not like if I walked on the street and I saw a dude shoot someone, I'd be like, I'd be like, wow, that dude just got shot. I better call the police. It's not like it desensitizes me to immorality
or amorality. But
right.
But yeah, it's
English major.
Yes. Well, no, they're both words, but I think that. Never mind. Moving on. Yeah, I mean, come on. I'm in America. You're in Germany. You have no say on what's English and what's not anymore.
Okay, I'll just ignore that statement and we'll continue.
What was that loud whistle thing that I just?
That
it sounded
was,
like, huh?
I think it was someone shouting outside.
It sounded like a siren for a second, but then it only happened once.
No, it was someone like going like woo in a high pitched voice.
Yes, loud people with high pitched voices in the background do not go over well with our listeners, as we'll find out later.
Oh, do we have some hate mail?
It's not necessarily hate mail, but we do have email. Yeah, which we'll get to later on.
After the break?
After the break. I guess now's as good a time as any to go on break.
All right.
So we'll be back after this.
Come in, my boy. What seems to be the problem?
Well, Dr. Smith, just look at my face, and you can see what the problem is. I'm kind of embarrassed to say it.
Well, yes, it's just awful looking, and it's covered with blemishes. Oh, that looks terrible, boy. Is that the only problem?
Well, that's pretty bad too. But there's something. There's a few other things that are giving me trouble too.
Well, what, my boy?
If I drop my drawers, you'd see the issue that Not that I can get a girlfriend, but if I could, I wouldn't be able to please her.
Ah, well, that sounds like a real problem too. And you got the sniffles there, boy. Is that a cold or allergies?
Yeah, I don't know if it's cold or allergies. I've had it for a few days. It might just be allergies.
Well, I'm a doc. That sounds like allergies. Well, you've got 3 different symptoms, and all 3 of them are giving you really bad problems.
Yeah.
I mean, with your pant problem and your horrible blemishes on your face and those seasonal allergies. I mean, I don't know what you're gonna do. Well, actually, I do. 'Cause I'm a doctor. It's a new drug, Panacor. It cures all 3: impotency, allergies, and acne, and it works for women.
What's the name of the drug?
Panacor. It's like a panacea. It cures everything you need.
Really? That's awesome.
And I can give you a prescription at no cost to me. If anything, I get something out of it. Not that I'm being paid or anything. I mean, I'm being paid as a doctor, but not for anything else.
Wow, you're an amazing doctor. Are there any other drugs that can help me with these problems?
No, only Panacor.
Oh.
Let me just write you a prescription for Panacor, the drug that cures all your problems. Panacor.
Panacor may include the following side effects.
Anal leakage, terminal flatulence, hepatitis A, B, and C, nausea, infertility, sterility, impotency, rheumatoid arthritis, spontaneous bone melting, heart cysts, dragon diarrhea, itchy ants, bone chips, bone cracking density, diabetic neuropathy, digestion problems, dioxin poisoning, triple diarrhea, diverticulitis, dry eyes, dry mouth, dry skin, dry anus, dry rectum, dry bone, dyspnea, eye loss, fluid retention, fluid loss, fungal infections, double yeast infections, genital herpes, genital wart, hair loss, hair growth, immunity disorders, impetigo, vertigo, indigestion, insect bites, shock itch, shock pain, pathways foot, menstruation issues in men and women, mental illness, mercury poisoning, mesothelioma, cystic fibrosis, neck pain, stiff neck, NF1, nocturia, instant death, instant fatality, instant obesity, slow obesity, oral herpes, oral tumors, ovarian cyst, pertussis, roach infection, pH problems in your stomach, causing you to die, phlebitis, photophobia, explosion, poison oak, poison ivy, poison, polyp, wallops, quit smoking, addictions to crack, radiation, deathly rash, sailing, and many others. Please come to your doctor if you're considering taking Panacor.
All right, we're back. That was another great commercial. It's always great when we're sponsored by different venues and different things.
Yeah, it's always nice to have good sponsors.
Yes. All right, moving on. It's also nice to have good emails, and that shows that we have listeners out there. All right. So, I mean, this email was addressed to John and Eric, so obviously this person doesn't listen very much since Eric isn't really on the show anymore. But, all right. The title of the email is I Love Ice Cream Too. All right.
I was just listening to episode 38, and I love the new format change. I really enjoyed how every couple of minutes, Jumbo Joe's girlfriend piped in with her witty exclamations on how much she loved ice cream, in a volume that was sure to catch the attention of my neighbors. And it was a nice distraction from the normal stuff you guys talk about. Sometimes it's really nice to have that extra person sitting in the room who doesn't understand that there's a podcast being recorded, so just says stuff that doesn't contribute whatsoever. I hope that Jumbo Jane's on a lot more. You guys should buy other foods so I can hear what else she really loves. Maybe you should see if she could do some commercials for ice cream or something. Hope you enjoyed the feedback. Bromo chloride.
All right, well, thank you, bromo chloride.
I think we should call him blomochromide.
Well, maybe blomochromide can do a promo for the show.
We'll see.
We'll have to contact him, or her, because apparently
true. Blomochromide could be a woman's name.
And likes ice cream a lot, so that's a good sign that it could be a woman.
Yeah, I mean, what's your take on that email? How did you feel about episode 38's additions?
I thought it was a little different than usual.
Yeah.
There was definitely a lot of energy there, and on the show, energy never can detract from the show. I think energy helps keep the show moving along.
Yeah, and speaking of moving along, we didn't want to be an episode of Dragon Ball Z and spend half the show talking about what happened in the last show. But just as kind of a track, I mean, yeah, I mean, it was an interesting episode, to say
Yes.
the very least.
All right. Well, I guess we will move on. And I mean, since that was about a woman eating ice cream, well, not that women eating ice cream really has anything to do with this, but V-Day is coming soon. And I don't know if you guys celebrate that over in Germany, but it's something we recognize over here in America, in the States.
Well, I mean, I know a lot of Europe, celebrates V-Day, but I don't know how the Germans really feel about it. I mean, it really wasn't their victory, but I mean, I guess they would celebrate it now because it was, the defeat of the Allies against the Nazis.
Wait, what?
What? V-Day.
No, Valentine's Day.
Oh.
Have you already forgotten?
Yeah, it gets celebrated here. I don't think it's quite as much of a Hallmark holiday, and that see go into the store and there's just like all this pink shit everywhere. But there's definitely there's definitely marketing for it.
Okay, I can live with that. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh mother. Let's see. So what are your recommendations for Valentine's Day? Do you have any advice you'd give our listeners?
Yeah, I mean, for Valentine's Day, I gotta say, from personal experience, probably the best thing you can do is you get your girl nice dressed up, for a fancy date, then you take her out to like a pizza joint, maybe a Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's, any of those cheap places. They're really nice on Valentine's Day. Not too many people there. I don't know why. and then you get this really nice box, like the kind that you have jewelry in, and you put inside it postage stamps, and it just works like a charm. I can't explain it. You go to a cheap pizza place. You get really greasy food that's probably gonna ruin her dress, but she won't mind because it'll be such a nice date.
It's a nice napkin. It's a huge napkin.
Postage stamps, just a bunch of them that she could ever use. And I.
What's that? Oh, apparently I lost him. We'll be right back.
When you might want to start a postage
you're back.
collection.
What's that? We lost you for a minute there. ¿Cómo estoy? Tab? All right. We will be right back after this brief pause. It might not even be anything you notice. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. All right, here's Tab. Continue.
So, as I was saying, really the best thing you can do, cheap pizza place, or if you don't like pizza, because the thing that most women won't admit, but it's true, is that Valentine's Day is all about what the guy wants. So you should go to somewhere that doesn't cost you very much, and you should expect her to pay. So you should go to maybe a Pizza Hut, Domino's, or if you're not a big pizza person, maybe a Quiznos, a Subway, something like that.
Hooters?
Really just get, yeah, I think Hooters would be good.
Or McDonald's?
McDonald's would be good because that's dirt cheap. But again, it doesn't. The price is ideally because you want her to feel like you're caring about the fact that you don't want her to spend too much because you're not spending anything.
Well, you want her to get nice and dressed up, but what about you? Do you have to get dressed up?
I would recommend that you dress up, put on some gray sweatpants. I did the ones that you've really been wearing most of the time. I mean, the ones that you wear every day. Those types of sweatpants, nothing fancy. And then for a top, you should probably put on a shirt. Something, because you can't go into a store without a shirt. So I'm thinking, like, if you have like a white, one of those white beater things, put one of those on. If you don't have any that are clean, it's not a big problem. Because again, you're going to a Pizza Hut. It all is accustomed to your quality of living, so you don't have to worry about that sort of thing. But if you can get your lady to be in something nice and strappy and nice and sexy looking, I'd say that's the everybody wins.
All right. Actually, I just came up with an amazing idea. Like, to be honest with you, I wasn't paying attention with you for the last minute while you were talking. But
okay.
But I'm sure it was good advice, and I'll hear it when I re-listen to the podcast. But I have a great idea that will actually that your speech just elevated. Which what I will do is I'll look up some advice columns that people have asked, like Dear Abby or something. But we'll answer it instead because we'll get better answers.
That sounds like a good idea.
So I found some right here from Dear Mrs. Webb, personal advice. So, apparently that's not working. All right, that link is dead.
So you actually didn't find anything from...
All right, this one works. All right. Dear Mrs. Webb, my wife is prickly and angry most of the time. She takes her anger out on our 7-year-old daughter and me. We have not had a decent conversation in months. All the words between us are either about running the household or words of disagreement. My wife is under a lot of stress at work, but I am so tired of her angry tirades. I just want to leave. What should I do?
Well, I'm probably gonna have to give the advice that I'm probably gonna have to disagree with Miss Webb's advice, which is probably to say you should get out of there and just ditch the kid too. That's probably what she said. Just based on the typical advice you give in that sort of situation. But I'd have to say you should probably talk it through with your wife. Maybe talk to her about being a stay-at-home mom while you go and do your job, which is hanging out with your friends when you'd normally be pretending to be working.
Okay. Let's see. I have another one.
Next question.
All right. Dear Mrs. Webb, my husband wants to go on a dangerous expedition. I am so afraid he will never come home. He has always been an outdoor lover and has taken many trips, but this trip will tax him maximally. People have died. He says he wants to go now before we have children. What can I do to stop him?
Stop him? You're probably going to need to find one of your hot female friends and convince them to help you out on this one, because it's going to take more than, even if you're a 10 out of 10, you're going to need like a 20 to keep him here, because he clearly has got something going on that's more important than you, because he's not going on a dangerous expedition. Honey, you can believe me when I say this. I am an expert on this sort of thing. He is going on a dangerous XX expedition. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're such an expert on marriage advice.
Well, I am not married, so that gives me extra perspective.
All right, now should I look up in-law advice or should I look up dating advice? What do you think would be
dating
better?
Advice? That's actually something that I'm a real pro at.
All right. Well, let's see. Try to find a short one. All right. I have a boyfriend who barely talks to me. We never see each other, and he never emails me. It's like he's ignoring me for some reason. I don't know what to do. A lot of my friends say that he doesn't like me, but I don't believe them. What do you think I should do? Do you think I should dump him?
Well, from the sounds of that question, it doesn't sound like he's your boyfriend. It sounds like it's some dude that you tell your friends is your boyfriend, and now you're like complain to him. But you might as well just say that you're gonna dump him and start hooking up with this dude in Canada, because clearly whatever you think's going on isn't. This is like a Fight Club situation. I'm pretty sure this guy doesn't even exist. He's your own personal Tyler Durden, except Edward Norton's having sex with him. So, or talk. It's you need to get some help, professional help.
That's a much better answer than the one Mrs. Webb gave, which she said yes, you should dump him.
Yeah, I mean, mine gave her more detail, because Miss Webb is right, but she didn't explain herself.
Let's see.
Next question.
All right, I think this segment's going pretty well.
Yeah.
All right. Actually, this one, I'll read it. I don't know if this one will be very funny, but do men and women handle certain situations differently? An acquaintance of ours committed suicide. When I told my husband, he said, how stupid. He had everything going for him. I quickly said that it wasn't stupid, it was sad. My husband became very quiet. Did I come on too strong?
I'm confused by the very end of that last sentence of, did I come on too strong? What were you coming on too strong about? Voicing your opinion? What is this, 1920? He's not going to lock you in a closet, go with dead bodies. This isn't Bluebeard. Ugh. There's not even an issue with this. You both said, you didn't say conflicting things. I mean, he was like, that's stupid. You were like, that's sad. He probably agrees with you. I mean, yes, it was stupid of him to do it. It is also sad. just be like that. That's the only thing you need. You just need to go to your husband and just make the connection and get him to just agree with you. Because it's not like you're gonna have an argument about being like, no, it's not sad. It's only stupid.
Interesting. All right. Let's see. We'll do one more before we go to our next commercial break.
You know, and I have one thing I want to say after we get through this before the commercial break. But go ahead with the next one.
All right. Let's see. I'm trying to find a good one here. Talk for a second while I look for a new one.
I mean, relationships are tricky, but ideally, you find the right types of pills that'll make her not remember the bad parts, and then you don't have a problem anymore. But in the event that you're unable to find the correct types of medications or pharmaceuticals to do that sort of thing, the best thing you can do is just keep moving. Just don't stay in the same place for very long. Don't let them track you down.
All right, actually, I found a real one on Mrs. Webb that I think is a good segue for commercial.
Okay.
All right. My father and mother just asked me to take care of their dog again. Toodles is a nasty, yippy, nippy, small dog who I cannot stand. They even call this dog my baby sister. How can I get out of caring for Toodles?
Okay. Before I answer this, I want to say my final thing, then I'll answer it and we'll go to commercial. Just to be clear to those of you who are that obtuse, my advice on this show is, of course, not to be taken seriously. And if it was to be taken seriously, that would imply that I'm a just really terrible person, which I'm not. And also, I'm single. So, ladies, if you're in the general European area, I don't have a phone, so I'm not really sure how you'll contact me.
Just email the podcast. Email the podcast.
But to answer this question, it sounds like you need to get a pet sitting service. And from my own personal experiences, I would have to suggest Paw to Paw Promise at pawtopawpromise.com. It's a great service. It's got reasonable prices, and it's got an easy-to-navigate website, which nowadays is one of those things that you'd think would be obvious, but there are a lot of websites that you go to, and you pretty much don't use the service because of how bad the website is. But Paw to Paw Promise is a good website. It has a good service. It has a good price. It's pretty well done. I mean, not that it's only pretty well done. It's a good site, and it's good. Okay, I'm just repeating myself. Let's go to commercial.
Yes, time for a commercial, and we'll be back after this.
Hello, my name is Alfonso Bob, and I'm here to tell you to vote yes on the upcoming election for Proposition 12, which will bring an additional level of diversity for sex/gender on the U.S. Census. With this new groundbreaking Proposition 12, not only will there be the standard restricted binary of male or female gender, it will have the complete spectrum consisting of male, female, or furry. This has to be passed because without this proposition, it will be restricted to people of other sexual identities, namely the only important one being a furry. Now, for additional words, here's another supporter of Proposition 12 from the lovely state of New Jersey.
In New Jersey, I have gotten many supporters to vow to me with their blood on paper that they will be voting yes on Proposition 12 so that we can make more furries visible to the public.
Yes, it's very important that furries become accepted into society, and only by incorporating them into official government documentation can there be true transparency in the process.
And we can take advantage of the Public Information Acts and find out who is a furry. And then, since in New Jersey we eat animals and furries think they're animals, we can treat them like animals and disembowel them, cut off their heads, and eat them and roast them inside out in New Jersey carpet market stands.
That's terrible. Furries are people too. In fact, we're more than just people. We're animals as well. So we're like people plus.
Well, when I make you into a furry, I will eat you and vote yes on 12. There's support all over the great state of New Jersey.
That's bad. That's worse than having fire thrown at me. That happened to me once.
I bet you like piles of trash too.
That is untrue, good sir. New Jersey is a great place, but I do not enjoy its big piles of trash.
Vote yes on Proposition 12. All right, and we're back. All right, that was an interesting commercial. I mean, usually elections and votes don't happen at this time of year, but that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, whoever does the banner ads, you know?
Yep, I hear you. All right, so we'll do a couple more relationship advice questions, and then get to our recommendations. We'll wrap up the show early this time. All right,
Great.
So let's see. Some dating advice. Let's see. I am in a... What's that?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Dear Mrs. Webb, I am in a muddle. I love two men. One is my ex-boyfriend who wants to come back to me. The other is my current boyfriend. Both are lovely men, but I feel more spiritually attached to my ex. I am unable to make a decision. Do you have any tips?
You know, for this one, I'm actually going to answer it seriously, because I feel like it's a pretty reasonable question. And I'm actually serious when I say I'm going to answer it seriously. With something like that, I feel like what you should really do is get out a piece of paper and write down why your ex is your ex. Then I want you to look at that list and just think about that for a while. Because honestly, like, getting back together with an ex, well, I mean, I don't have any issue with getting back together with an ex, but you've already got a boyfriend and you like him too. I don't know. It's a complicated thing. You know, at first I thought I had a pretty clear-cut answer, and then I realized I didn't.
I'm mad because that answer is too good, and I wanted something funny. That's a legitimately good answer, and that's not what I want from you. That's not what we pay you for.
Okay, do you want me to come up with a ridiculous
No,
answer?
that's fine. Moving on. No, if you could do serious answers. All right, but this next one I think might raise some of your fires, your internal fires. You might sound like Mr. Valentine here.
Oh my.
I have been dating a guy over the net. We are close and even told each other that we loved each other, and we both really mean it. I am almost 16, and he is 18. Now, he won't email me back or even try to find me on the net. I know he has a steady job, but shouldn't he make time for his girlfriend? Please tell me what to do.
So let me just get this straight. So they have a purely online relationship.
That's correct. And she's 15, and he's 18.
Yeah, isn't that like statutory rape?
I don't think if it's just over the internet.
I think yeah, actually no, and I think.
And if there's no pictures being sent.
I think it's like when it's under that age, there's like a 4-year like window, at least in Connecticut, I think. So no, there's not an issue with that. I feel like she's, like they said they love each other, but it's a purely on, like, do they even live near each other? Like, is that made clear?
Nope.
He's got a steady job. He's 18. Is he not? I mean, not that there's anything wrong with not going to college, but is he just not college educated? I mean, I feel like there's a lot of questions here, and the fact there's a lot of questions is indicative that maybe this whole situation needs to be evaluated. And now I'm kind of irritated that I'm still coming up with serious answers. I really wished I could have come up with something ridiculous.
All right, we have one more question, and then we'll get to recommendations.
Okay.
All right. Dear Mrs. Webb, I work for an adult phone service. I met this guy on the phone line 5 years ago. He's very much in love with my character, which is basically me. The problem is, I don't look anything like character. He is 31, I am 50, and separated from my second husband. He thinks I am younger and have never been married. I have 3 grown children and a grandson. I am in love with him. Do I tell him the truth and risk making him angry and lose my job? Or do I break things off and disappear? He has never been in a serious relationship, and no matter how much I have tried to push him away, he keeps coming back. No matter what happens, he is going to be hurt. But it's hard to tell someone that you have lied to them for 5 years. Help!
Okay, quick, serious answer. Yeah, probably want to break it off and disappear. Non-serious answer, what you gotta do is you gotta tell him the truth, but then you have to essentially win him back over by allowing him to perform the ultimate sex move on you.
And what might that move be?
This move is called the Charizard.
The Charizard.
Yes, like the Pokemon.
That's a Pokemon I'm very fond of.
Right. So here's how the Charizard works. This is not safe for work for you younger viewers. Cages. So.
Oh, it's not safe to do the Charizard or to hear what the Charizard consists of.
Both.
Okay.
So the chick's on her hands and knees, and the guy gets behind her, and he's doing his thing, and then just before he finishes, he pulls out a lighter, sets the woman's genital hair on fire, and then sprays all over the chick's back while waving his arms up and down like a bird and shouts, "You don't have enough badges to train me."
That's good advice. Very good advice. I think that'll help her win over the man she met while being a sex character on a phone line.
And Cages, if you are listening, but you shouldn't be, put that in your corner pocket for when you finally do remember your phone number and meet a girl.
You act like he's going to remember it someday. All right. Let's wrap up the show and do some recommendations. All right. So I was thinking we could recommend TV shows that we only recommend a couple seasons of and then nothing after. Because there's a lot of TV shows that start good and then just become crap. So please indulge me.
I would have to recommend, this is a show that's actually only in its second season. I have to recommend the first season and only the first season of the show Community, which is on NBC. The first season was really nice, and it did a good job of developing like the characters and the setting and all of that. But then the second season became very kind of individual episode centric, and it became very they were all very one shot, and it's just very unusual. Like the how the episodes are set up have just changed in a way that I really don't like. And it's still getting good reviews, so clearly it has a demographic, which is good for the show, but it's not good for me because I don't want to show anymore.
Interesting, because coincidentally, I just got the first disc of season 1 from Netflix today, and I've never seen the show, so at least I know I have something good to look forward to.
Yeah, I mean, when I actually first saw, because the general premise is it's about people at community college. That's the most simple premise description. And when I first saw the ad spots for it, I went, first off, what's the guy from The Soup doing on a television show that isn't The Soup? And second off, I was like, that looks like the stupidest thing ever. Like, community college? Give me a fucking break. And as a quote-unquote real college graduate, I honestly can't take community colleges seriously. But the show's pretty funny. It's got Chevy Chase in it, so it's pretty good. And it's also got Donald Glover, who's from Derek Comedy fame. He was also a writer for 30 Rock. And I think he might have done some writing for SNL. I'm not entirely sure.
Interesting. All right. Well, so people, you should check out season 1 of Community and check out season 2 at your own risk. All right. So I will recommend a show that I assume everyone's already seen, but you might want to go back and revisit the earlier seasons in The Simpsons, because I haven't even really watched it too much in the last several years, and what I have seen hasn't been very impressive. The show's lost a lot of its magic and seems to be on repeat. And just how many times can Moe's restaurant or Moe's bar change into some trendy hip place that a lot of people like and then dislike within the next act?
You know, I actually, Johnny, I have to agree very strongly with the term of the use of your term that it's on repeat. Because when I was in middle high school, I actually really liked The Simpsons, and now I actually really can't stand it at all in any of its seasons. But the point is that when I did like it, you know, I feel like the first, I don't know, however many seasons. But recently I saw a new episode, and I watched it, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I've seen this episode before. And it had been like 4 years since I'd seen a new episode. So the show definitely has lost the magic it had, and my personal opinion, what magic, but that's, you know, I'm not going to have that discussion. You know, I'm very...
TV has also
picky.
changed a lot since The Simpsons came onto the scene.
Yeah.
Like back then, but when The Simpsons first came out, they were considered edgy, and a lot of my friends weren't allowed to watch The Simpsons, which the show
I wasn't
now
allowed to
seems
watch- I
very,
remember-
very tame by comparison.
When I was really little, we weren't allowed to watch The Simpsons, but my mom worked days and my dad worked days and my mom worked nights. So in the evening, when my dad would be watching us, we'd watch The Simpsons, and then my mom found out and got really pissed off at my dad. And of course, at that age, it wasn't even like we were watching it because we had any idea what was going on. It's just like, oh, we're going to watch TV now.
Yeah, but I mean, clearly watching The Simpsons turned you into a horrible person.
No, I'm gonna deny it. I'm gonna deny it turning me into a terrible person. There may be things. I may be a terrible person. There may have been things that have done that to me, but probably not The Simpsons.
No.
Well, actually, no. If I were to admit that I'm a terrible person, then yes, sure, let's blame it on The Simpsons.
Those damn yellow people.
I would rather blame it on The Simpsons than blame it on video games.
Too many people blame things on video games.
True.
But, all right. I'm not going to get into that discussion right now because
Yeah.
I think it's about time we wrap up the show. So, do you have any closing words?
Be smart.
Be smart.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know how to be smart. I mean, we live in a country where the two most popular TV shows are Jersey Shore and Sarah Palin's Life, which isn't a TV show, but it might as well be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's, you either take my advice or you hopefully die.
All right. Well, this is coming from Tab over in Germany.
Yep.
Sounds
Foreign
like
correspondent.
he's really soaking in the culture. We can definitely
Yeah.
tell that. All right. And all my closing words are continue to listen to PPR and send in an email to podcastrevolution@gmail.com.
That's one word and G as in Google.
Yes, G as in Google. Thank you, Mr. Miller, Mr. Bacteria Mike. All right. Moving on, I'd like to thank Tab for joining us. I'd like to thank people for listening. I'd like to thank Bromide or bromochloride for
Bromide.
Yes, bromochloride for sending in the email. And I'd like to thank myself because without me, the show wouldn't be possible.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping that if I get to be on the show again, that maybe there'll be someone else to talk to besides you, because that'd be cool.
I'm hurt. All right, I'll try to get Jumbo Jane on for you.
Oh dear.
All right. So, all right. Say goodbye.
Tschüss.
All right. Salut.